Jesus went up a mountain to teach his disciples. He sat down and started to explain to them what it meant to be a disciple of Messiah and how to live a life that was pleasing to God. He started by saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for they will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those that mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the gentle, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those that hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are those that are merciful, for they themselves will obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be known as the children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for they will inherit the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when you are persecuted and are insulted for me. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. This is how they treated the prophets that came before you. If you do these things, you will be the salt of the earth. You will be the light of the world. Many will see it and will glorify God." Now, don't think that I have come to put away the law of God. Just the opposite. Those who would be my disciples are to live by a higher standard. For instance, the law says that you're not to murder. You are to live by a higher standard. You're not to hate anyone. Those who hate others, it is as bad as killing them. The law says that you're not to commit adultery. You're to live by a higher standard. You're not to harbor lust in your heart. Uncontrolled thinking is the basis of misery, unfaithfulness, and divorce. The law makes provision for equal justice, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You are to live by a higher standard. Love those who mistreat you and take advantage of you. If someone does evil to you, do what you can to be a blessing to them. The disciples became uneasy as they heard about this higher standard. It was a whole different way of living. It didn't even seem possible. But then Jesus went on to tell them about 3 distractions that would keep them from serving God the way they should. He said, beware of pride, trying to impress others more than God. When you give to the poor, do it privately. It's not to be a display of your generosity. The purpose of prayer is to talk to God, not to impress others. Fasting is between you and God, not a show for others to admire. Give, pray, fast, but do these things privately. It won't be hid from God. He will reward you. Beware of the grip that money can have in your life. You are to focus on heavenly treasure, not pour your energies in what you can accumulate. you can't serve two masters. You will either serve God and use your money to glorify Him, or you will be controlled by money and what it can buy you. Beware of common worries. Food and drink and clothes are, of course, these are all necessary, but they're not to fill your life with fear. Focus on God and what He provides you. Look at the birds and how God provides for them. Don't you think He cares more for you? Look at how He clothes the flowers in the fields. He knows what you have need of. Focus on God and let Him worry about you. The people in the mountain grew restless at such radical teaching, but they grew quiet when He continued on and talked about the attitude that they are to have with one another. He said, "Don't set yourself up as judges of other people's motives. You will be judged by the standard you set for others." Judging others is as silly as a man with a piece of lumber in his eyes, but he ignores it because he's obsessed about the speck of sawdust in someone else's eye. It's as silly as a blind man trying to lead another blind man down the street. They will both fall into the ditch. Instead of judging people, give to them, and not just a little either. Give in great abundance. It's like a merchant that says, for a price, you can have one container full. What do? As you fill it, you shake it back and forth. You press it down as you fill it up to the top. Then you use your body to fill it above the rim. That is how you are to give to others. And if you do, that is how it will be given to you. The people were quiet as they pondered what they were hearing. Quietly, Jesus said, "If you are going to be my disciple, do what I say." There are two roads before you. One is wide and well-traveled. It's the natural way, and many go that way. You are to choose a different way, one less traveled, a straight way. The choice is yours. Two men built a house. One built his house upon the solid foundational rock, while the other built his house upon sand. They both looked very nice and were a lot alike. But when the storms came, the one that was built upon the rock stood firm, while the other one fell. Build your life on the firm foundation of what I am teaching you. If you do, when the storms of life come, you will stand firm. Ignore what I say, and your life will crumble. When Jesus was done teaching the people, they were amazed because He taught as one who had great authority.